Welcome to Backstage Money, real world finance for musicians. I'm your host, Jason K. Powers, and this is where music and money collide. Every episode, we sit down with working musicians and industry insiders who have been figuring out in the trenches so you can learn from the people who are actually making it work. Today's guest is the founder and lead singer of Ignescent, a female-fronted hard rock band out of Chicago, signed to Frontiers Music. They deliver high-energy rock with soaring vocals. We got heavy guitars and an inspiring message. These guys have shared the stage with people like Skillet and Daughtry and Stryper and Megadeth and many more. Their second album, Eternal, dropped in March of this year, 2026. Jennifer Benson of Ignescent, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you getting on. I've enjoyed seeing you guys around online over the years and just kind of your progression and how you've kind of shared your story along the way. And so it's been fun. And I've always been like, I gotta reach out. I gotta get her on the show sometime and da-da-da. So yeah, it's good to finally get you on.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, tell me, we always like to start with kind of an origin story, I would call it. How did you get into music? Have you always been into music, and how did that kind of evolve throughout your life?
Yeah. Well, originally I started like as a dancer and just, taking lessons and just really being into dancing a lot. But when I was 15, my friends started taking vocal lessons. And I'm like, wow, that seems kind of cool. I'd like to try that out. And so I started taking voice lessons. I started singing on the worship team at church. And then that led to, start like writing songs, and it just kind of developed from there. And then, I had different roadblocks along the way, but finally decided to start a band and had no clue what I was doing at all.
Yeah.
I just kind of started booking and promoting online with social media, and it just grew from there, honestly. And so that's how it started. Just kind of doing everything myself, and figuring things out, and just going from there.
Yeah. So at what point, like how old were you? You said you got into it kind of at 15, kind of start looking really this direction. At what point did you decide, like, I'm going to start this band, we're going to have a real band and do the real deal
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah. Well, I started doing open mics with tracks, and obviously that's not very interesting. A singer and a track, I mean, at a bar. And so someone came up to me and they're like, you really should put a band together. You really need a band. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's true. Like maybe I should actually like do something about it and do that and really do this. And so that was kind of part of it. And I also really love bands like Flyleaf and Skillet, and just started watching them and the energy on stage and the performance, and the guitarist and the drum and just all that excitement. I'm like, this is what I want to do. They can do this. I can do this. And so, finally I'm like, it kind of flipped a switch. I'm like, I'm going to do this. And so I put out some ads and got introduced to other people, through that, and just decided to form a band and did it.
Did it. So how old were you at that point?
At that point, I was really like 20s, early 20s when I started. Yeah. Because at 15, I just kind of did, like the worship team and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. So I love your kind of story of getting the band started and getting the band signed. And how you take me through that, take the listeners through that. For those who don't know, kind of you booked it, managed it, promoted it,
Yeah.
and give us that story. How did that come about?
Okay. Yeah. So I actually submitted to Frontiers Music SRL, years back, like before we got signed, and I saw artists like Rachel Levin got signed and some other artists that were, their Stryper is part of it. And I thought, wow, this seems like a really cool label. And so a while ago I submitted us and they said no. So I'm like, well, okay, whatever. So I just keep going and hoping, maybe in the future they'll be interested.
Yeah.
And then Remnant hit top 50 on the active rock Billboard charts. And then I had this other song that I submitted to them, and I mentioned about Remnant too. And I thought, well, maybe this will pique their interest. And so I emailed that song and they emailed me back and they said they were interested. And I was in shock. Like, yes, finally.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really like that simple. Like and yeah, and so but they said, we need this. I think it was like 4 or 5 months. I don't know. They needed the album really quickly. And so I kind of dropped everything and focused 24/7 on, all of us like writing together. And we co-wrote with like Jeremy Valentine and Brandon Wolf of New Year's Day for that first album, and Kevin Young of Disciple and Josiah Prince of Disciple, and then just wrote songs. So yeah, it was just like 24/7 of writing, recording, and getting this thing done because I did not want to miss out on this opportunity or screw it
Right.
up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you don't mind, walk us through a little bit of the relationship dynamic, maybe between, that's the first time you've been signed,
Yeah.
and I know Frontiers is kind of one of its own, but in general, you could kind of generalize what's a new relationship maybe look like getting signed for the first time.
Well, I mean, from you mean like from start to the whole process, or
Yeah, I mean, what kind
Mhm.
of expectations, you kind of alluded to a little bit of it, what kind of expectations were put on you,
Okay, yeah,
and what does that relationship look like? I guess.
yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, it was, pretty straightforward. They mentioned that they wanted like a 10-song album. They mentioned, they wanted, new pictures, that they would invest in 2 new music videos, which I was super stoked about. So that was fun. And yeah, that was mainly the expectations and then the timeline. And then it was just kind of going back and forth, with the label if I had any questions or, um, and, but they, Frontiers, I mean, I don't know about other labels, I can't speak, but they're super easy to work with, really laid back, as long as you get them everything that's expected on time. They're just so easy, to work with. And so obviously not being signed before, I was super nervous. Um, but as time goes on, you get to know people, then, I started to ask more questions and like, can we do this? Can we do that sort of thing? You know. But yeah, but at first it's just, I was just kind of like, what do you want? I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
Thank you for the opportunity. You know what I mean?
whatever, anything,
But
just to get 'em,
yeah, right.
yeah, get that
Thank
first.
you for believing in us. So yeah, but I mean, they're super nice people, super laid back, and so they're yeah. I just was honored that they would and blessed, they would do that and be willing to invest in us. So
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I've heard that about them.
yeah,
What well, maybe one question would be, what did you maybe give up to get that deal, and what did you gain? That would be one
yeah,
of, like, a lot of people, you hear a lot of people like, "We gave up this, that, and the other, but
right,
trade-off was this, that, and the other,"
right. Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, obviously they, as independent artists, you have full copyright and everything. So that's something, they own the songs and obviously I get, publishing rights and that sort of thing. But, basically they own the song. So you're giving up that, but then they're also giving you, the finances to fund the music video, to fund a whole album, to market you, and and share you on their social media and promote you and that sort of thing. And for me, it was, maybe some people might be like, well, you know what, I can just do that all myself. And that's fine if you can, if you have the finances. But I was in a situation at that point where I was thinking I might have to end the band because there were so many financial tragedies that happened right before we got signed. Um, it was, well, we moved back, and then someone had stolen money from us, and then a lost job. It was just like one thing after the other. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've invested so much time in this band. What am I going to do? Like, I thought maybe it was done, and or I'd have to take a long break or something just to financially recover. And then all of a sudden I get this email and they're willing to invest. And for me, because of that situation, and that maybe it's an unusual situation that I was in. Some unusual things happened all at once. It was like a state, like I felt like I was like saved. I'm like, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you for helping me because it helped me to keep going. So, yeah. So yes, it depends kind of what situation you're in, but for me, it was a perfect perfect situation, perfect timing. So.
Mhm, mhm. Kept you going, gave you the boost you needed, and
Definitely, yeah,
kept that
definitely.
dream alive, as they say.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so so you've done a lot of co-writing with other artists, and
Yeah,
you've got is it Samir with Flyleaf, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
Jeremy Valentine, New Year's Day, Clint Lowry of Seven Dust.
yeah,
Uh, Talk to me about how do those relationships happen, and the importance of those relationships.
yeah. Yeah, it's a great question. So Samir of Flyleaf co-wrote a new song called Fearless on our new album, the Eternal album that we released in March. And but I met him and Flyleaf when we opened for them in Chicago at Subterranean. And so that was exciting in itself because I'm a huge fan of Flyleaf. And so getting to do that was awesome. And then I got to talk to them afterwards, and they were so friendly. Like, I was in shock how friendly they were. And,
Mhm.
um, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to ask him. Maybe he would co-write a song. And so after that day, I reached out to him, and he said he would. And so we just kind of exchanged ideas online and got on Zoom, and just co-wrote that song Fearless. So that was super cool. Jeremy Valentine of New Year's Day, Brandon Wolf of New Year's Day, they actually reached out to me. So, because they really like bands like Striper, and they follow like a lot of Christian bands. And so they reached out to see if I needed any help. And so we started working together, and they produce most of the songs now. So that was awesome. But so the most recent was Clint Lowry, and I saw like things online about his life and how his life had changed, and I just for the better. And I thought, wow, he's like a really really cool person. And so I actually reached out to him, and I never imagined in a million years that he would respond, but to my shock and surprise, he did. And he's like, "Yeah, I'd be interested. I want to hear the song." So I sent it to him, and he was touring, so he's like, "I'll get back to you soon." And he listened to it, and he's like, "Wow, I love this." And he said, "I've been, praying for an opportunity like this for the kind of message, which is so cool." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Wow, how are we an answer to his prayer, but he doesn't answer our prayer?" It's just
Yep.
crazy, in a cool way, in awesome way. And so we just, co-wrote online, sent ideas back and forth, and then I ended up recording it. And I asked him if he would, be featured on it and sing a verse since he co-wrote it with us. And he said yes. And I'm like, well, hey, so since you sang on it, would you want to be in the music video too? Like, and so he said yes. And we shot the music video in St. Louis with JT Ibanez, and got to hang out with Flint for the day. And yeah, it was just super cool. He's such a nice and humble guy and awesome person. And so that's kind of how it all came about.
Yep. Yep. That's great.
Yeah.
I love hearing the stories about just all these, we would say, almost unlikely relationships at times
Yeah.
that people end up doing collabs, and it's just neat how it unfolds most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's really just a lot of it becomes just ask,
Yeah.
right? What are they
Right.
going to say? Worst they can say is
Right.
no.
Exactly.
you know?
exactly. That is true.
There's a lot of fear in that, and, like, I don't even wanna ask, I don't even wanna try.
Right.
So not being afraid
Yeah.
of that rejection maybe might be important, important.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is kind of scary, but yeah, you just gotta ask and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
So Eternal just dropped back in March of
Okay.
this year. Tell me about that record and kind of what it means to the band.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the first record uh, was more, I guess, I mean, this one's still harder and edgier, but it was definitely more metal, I would say the first one. And then this one, I wanted to kind of change things up. I wanted to bring some softer, more mainstream music, like in a few songs, like with Light Up the Night. And then I also wanted to be clearer with the message of some of the songs, kind of like Striper did. So I don't know, I felt a tug to just change things up just a little bit. And so that's kind of what we decided to do. And, there's so much going on in this world and craziness. We just want to make sure people know, that they're loved and they're accepted and just encourage them with a message of hope and truth. And so that was the goal, like with this album. And so, yeah, so we, wrote Fearless about some struggles in my personal life and then Eternal, which is, the title track to the album and how in like my favorite book, it says he has written eternity in our hearts. And so there's just a mix of different messages of hope and struggle and that's kind of how that came about.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of, inspiration in your story and how that's played out in your music. And I've always thought that was really great. Like, you hear these different stories and how that impacts your music and how that impacts the lyrics,
Yeah.
and the hope that you want to give to other people,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I started Ignescent, just to encourage people, that I've been through a bunch of garbage, like a lot of really bad things, like mentally abusive relationship and all that sort of, things. And I just want to encourage people you can use that for good, your pain. You can turn it around and there is hope, no matter what you're going through that can be used and that can be turned around,
Yeah.
tomorrow. So yeah, that's definitely the whole point of our band.
Yes. What's the story behind the band name itself?
um, so ignescent means to ignite. So we want to ignite people's hearts with our music and with a message of hope. And originally I was like trying to um figure out, a perfect name for ignescent and um oddly enough, I was going through the dictionary and, stopped in the letter I in this word. It literally, like, popped off the page at me, and I've never heard it before. I'm like, "What is ignescent?" I've never heard that word. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's perfect. It's, because it means to ignite and to spark, and that's what our, music is meant to do is, like, spark hope,
Yeah.
ignite hope, and, yeah, ignite people's hearts, so.
Yeah. That's great. So there are some things coming up for you guys later this month as we're recording here in early June. You have some stuff
Yeah.
coming up later in June. There's something about a film, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in a film that I think it's gonna be announced next week. But I started film, it's featuring some information and a biography and also some music from a band called Petra from the 80s. And the movie's called Beyond Belief. And so I got to do a little part in that and sing in that and perform in that.
Cool.
And oddly enough, it was like shot right here in the Chicagoland area. So it's so crazy how it came about. But yeah, so that will be announced. It's gonna be in theaters actually, and I am just I'm really excited about that. So yeah, that's a big thing that's coming. I think it comes out in September, like September 11th or something like that.
Cool.
So yeah, we have that, and then we have a show with Daughtry Skillet at Rockfest June 20th. Super stoked about that. A lot of other shows are at ignessantmusic.com, but we'll be at Life Fest too. We'll be opening for Texas Hippie in Iowa. Um, we'll be at I think the Illinois State Fair Power Lake Festival too in August. But yeah, all those dates are at ignessantmusic.com.
Yeah.
So a
Yeah.
lot coming up.
Well, we'll get all the links to your site and relative links in the show notes too, and so people can check them out and check out your social media channels and all of that too. But let's go back to, you kind of talked earlier about, the struggle of getting started and kind of hitting that breaking point of, we might have to shut this down, really. And then this opportunity came up. So talk me through some of the things you learned through that process before getting signed, on when it comes to your finances, your flow of money in the business, how were you, what are the struggles and what advice would you give, right? What did you learn? Definitely don't do this. Or, what are your
Yeah.
lessons that you walked away with from that time period?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. Um, well, one of the struggles was having the funds to record. So we never did a full album. We just did singles here and there because we wanted to put out professional music and professional recordings, but that costs a lot of money, of course. So, but I feel like we did pretty well with that. Like we didn't go crazy and overspend, even though we wanted to do an album, but we couldn't afford it. So, we just did singles and, some people were able to help us with the budget for the music video as far as, you know, um, not going, they understood our budget and they were willing to work with us.
Mhm.
And so I feel like we did pretty well in that. But then I did get some really bad advice. Um, and I guess one thing I learned is you don't necessarily, at least at this, you know, in the time that we're living in, you don't necessarily have to have a manager like you, especially in the beginning. You can, do a lot yourself and save a lot of money doing that yourself. So that's one thing I would encourage people to do. Don't just like all of a sudden be a manager, all this money, and then, I would build things up yourself. So
Mhm.
that's one thing that I learned. Another thing is the travel. Like I kind of at the beginning. I kind of went crazy and started going all over the place. But I would suggest maybe at the beginning, just to like travel within 4 hours because
Right.
obviously now, and even back then, gas is expensive. If you
Yeah.
have to pay for hotel, if depending on your situation, I mean, you can blow a lot of money very quickly and financially hurt yourself. And so I did that. Don't do that. Maybe just, you know, stay within 2 to 4 hours at the most at the beginning. Build yourself up that way, then expand. So
Mhm.
that's another thing. I also got some bad advice once to, do a really expensive radio, like rock radio campaign. And, I would you'd be leery of that. People are listening on Spotify now, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So be careful. Certain people, certain managers will give you bad advice too. And so it was just, I mean, I know now, but it's a learning experience. You have to, can't just blindly trust people. You got to be careful. So
Right. Right. What's been the most reliable income stream that's actually worked over the years?
yeah, the most reliable thing is selling merch, either online or in person at the shows. That's like the main way that, people and bands make their money is the merch and at live shows. So that's why I always mention it at shows, encourage people. I mean, this helps pay for gas, I mean,
Yeah.
this pays for travel expenses. Please buy
You're
merch. And
getting it
so
right.
yeah, so that has definitely grown in over the years and been very helpful. So I think that's the the most, yeah, like the best way. I mean, another way is maybe do some vocal lessons or guitar lessons on Zoom. That can be pretty successful, you know. So I would say those are the main ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, merch is uh, the number one thing that comes up, obviously, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of bands don't they don't want to mess with it. Seems like, and they're like, "Well, I don't, it seems like so much trouble and yada yada yada." And
Yeah.
I think it's important. I would agree. I think fans love to buy stuff,
Yeah.
without getting caught up in the conversation. Did they spend all their money on the tickets just to get there because of
Right.
whoever's
Yeah.
selling the tickets, right? And
Perfect.
without that aside, it's really giving them an opportunity to go home with something, and then and what else can they get, and and you roll
Yeah.
out it's that tangible, hands-on experience that you can go home with,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And they still love like CDs because they love, you to sign it and they have something physical to bring home. And
Yep,
t-shirts.
yep. Are you guys doing vinyl?
Yeah. Yeah. This time around we did vinyl. Mhm. Yeah.
Vinyl seems to be, I mean, the last 3 years, vinyl has outsold CDs nationwide, and I'm constantly fascinated at the numbers, how much
Mm.
vinyl is selling these
Yeah.
days, and
Yeah.
I don't know how long that'll last.
Yeah. I don't know either.
Once the shelves get too full, people will quit
Yeah.
buying enough,
That-
go back to something smaller like CDs.
Right. Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, so what advice would you give, say, young musicians, especially young women trying to build something from scratch right now?
Yeah. I guess my advice would be just, do it. Like, you got one life, do it. But, maybe take a little time, save up, work. Even if it takes a year to save up a bit so you can put out something of quality. Don't just randomly put out something. It just doesn't sound good. It's not going to be worth it, honestly. So that would be one thing. Put out something that is quality. Um, and the one thing I always hear, and it's true, I don't know why, but sometimes it is harder, especially in rock for women. There's not as many. But I would say just keep pushing through. Don't listen to anything negative. Just don't listen to anyone. Just do
Yeah.
what you want to do, what you feel like, your dream is. You're gonna have to block out the voices and just do it. So
Mhm. Mhm. I think it's true. I think there is so much noise out there, and we
yeah,
get caught up in the noise and the
yeah,
potential rejection, even if it hasn't really surfaced yet. Just the
right.
potential of that rejection is hard to overcome, and I think that's great advice to just do it. Do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
Def-
do you
Definitely.
have any final thoughts on if someone needs to just do what? Like, where are some good starting points for artists starting out in this day and age, right? You have the debates going on right now between, okay, just pushing stuff straight out to streaming, just try to get signed, or just go indie. You have all these, I'll call them worldviews in the music
Yeah.
business. And what's kind of your stance where you think a good place for people to get started is?
I mean, if you're brand new, obviously just, get some recordings out there, just release singles maybe every 6 weeks or so and try to build your followers on the different platforms, social media, Spotify and all that. And just kind of grow it that way at first. And, just start doing some shows, even if you just start, on the weekends or maybe Thursday through Sunday type of thing and get out there and just keep, be consistent and keep doing it. It's not going to happen necessarily overnight unless some miracle happens or something, unusual. But normally it's just like, being consistent, getting your music out there on the platforms, doing some live shows so people become more aware of it and just going from there. Yeah, if you can get like at least one good music video, obviously, and obviously some good pictures, website, all that standard things, just start out that way. And then over time it'll grow.
Good, good. All right. You've got, we always like to try to ask, if you've got a crazy story from life on the road. And
Okay.
then we always talk about what we call final riffs at the end, which is just some rapid fire questions. Tell us a good story. You got a good story from life on the road?
Yeah. Yeah, we had many, but one
That's funny.
is well, there's just we were playing at Rock Fest in Cadet, Wisconsin, one year, and we were supposed to be playing like pretty soon, but all of a sudden, this like crazy, I don't know, it was like a crazy wind and all these like weird clouds, and then it was just stuff going everywhere, and like the porta potties literally started flying. Like,
Oh
I'm
my
not kidding. I've never
God.
seen anything like this. And I'm like, I'm not usually afraid of weather, but I've never experienced anything like in person like this. And so I was like, okay, I guess I don't know what's going on. But then this guy ran by me and he said, I'm gonna die. Like, I was like, okay. So I started freaking out at that point. And we got in the car and it started shaking and it
Oh,
was just insane. And I was like, what is happening? I don't know. It was just a crazy, crazy thing.
yeah.
I've never experienced it. But
Um,
I mean, obviously at that point it wasn't funny, but now it is.
right, right.
Um, just because porta potties were flying. Like,
Yeah.
it's just in the
I'd be
sky.
afraid of flying porta potties too.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But then thank God, like, it died down, and then there was these weird bubble clouds in the sky I've never seen before. It was just so insane. And so we didn't get to do our first set. But at least we got to play in the second set, but it was muddy. It was like a muddy mess. It rained. It was just things were everywhere. And then in between the set too, which was really crazy, our bass player, like he was there on stage and it wasn't during the set, it was in between. And then he wasn't there. And so he didn't realize like there was nothing in back of him. Like the stage was just
Oh
there's
no.
nothing there. It fell
Oh
off.
no. Oh no. Oh shoot.
And it was crazy, and I should have been more like, more, compassionate, but I was laughing. So, it was just a little insane. So that was our insane experience at Rockfest, but it ended up fine. We played the second set, and we played, like, the third set. I think we headlined that stage, and it was a blast, but it was a muddy mess, and it was crazy.
Two, one for the books.
Yes, definitely.
One for the books. All right. Well, we always like to end with what we call final riffs. It's just a few rapid fire questions. Ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Who was your biggest musical influence growing up?
Flyleaf Skillet.
Yeah. Band or artist you will never get tired of listening to?
I would say the same Flyleaf Skillet and Evanescence. I'll throw that one in. She's
There you
amazing.
go. Big tour this year for them too.
Yeah.
Most embarrassing moment on stage? Not you falling off stage.
Not me. Oh, wow. It's usually band members that are doing things.
Speak for them.
I have tripped like over a chord, but then I pulled it off. I don't know if people noticed or not. I, of course, was totally embarrassed, but
Yeah.
those sort of things happen.
Right. All right. If you weren't doing music, what would you be doing?
I would either honestly be like a youth minister, which I know sounds crazy, but like a youth pastor, or else something like acting. I love acting, which I do a little bit of.
All right, Jennifer, this has been a great conversation. You built something really from scratch on your own terms, with your faith at the center of it all, to note. And the music speaks for itself, I think. So, guys, go check out Eternal, which is out now, and catch Ignescent at Rocks Fest coming up end of the month if you're listening to this soon enough. And all the links we'll be having in the show notes for you guys. You can also go to ignescentmusic.com. And if today's conversation got you thinking about building a more solid foundation for your own music career, head on over to 1024wealth.com/music and grab a free guide, and let's have a conversation about what it could look like for you. I'm Jason K. Powers. This is Backstage Money, where music and money collide. Jennifer, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.